welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Saturday morning, so you know it's time for another live edition of The Extra Point. Peel Culture in the house. The First Lady of Sports, Tasha T. Sizzle, back in the house, rocking that block M. Looking very, very, very festive today. We gonna get into that block M in just a moment. And checking in from an undisclosed location, hopefully not the pen or the local county jail, is Michigan. Michael Hasso says, "Oh, good, y'all are talking about the number one team in the nation, go blue." And Mike, that's a great place to start because Michigan on Monday became the unquestioned, unequivocal one, as in number one team in the nation. College basketball, shouts out to Dusty May, Yaxel Lindenborg, and the crew. They have a huge non-conference game against previous rival Duke, who is ranked number 3 in the country. They will be squaring off in the nation's capital later on this evening. Tasha, now we go way back. And one of the things that binds me to you was the fact that we were high schoolers together. Honors AP high schoolers, by the way. I just want to throw that part in there. So we're in honors AP class. I look over, I'm seeing Michigan gear. Right around the time there were 5 fantastic, fabulous freshmen, dare I say, who were embarking on their trek to Michigan and turning Michigan into a cultural phenomenon back in the early 90s, which brings me to Duke. Because Tasha, in this opening salvo, I just want to run a couple of things down to you. 1992.
April. It was April 6th.
April. Wow. See, that's why I love. Welcome back, Tasha. Welcome. Welcome back. April 6, 1992. There were 5 freshmen that took the floor in the national title game against arguably the best assembled Duke team of all time. They were tied at the half with that juggernaut of a team, Christian Laettner, Danny Hurley, and the likes, and Grant Hill, that historic team. They wound up losing. The next year, we defeat Kentucky, who was the biggest challenger in the semifinals of the Final Four. People thought that was the national championship game. We go on to the national championship to take on a North Carolina team that we smoked in a preseason tournament earlier that year. I'm out. Chris Webber. And the rest is history. Tasha, can I interest you in 2013 when Trey Burke climbed the rafters into the high heavens and pinned that kid's shot up against the glass, a clean block? Tasha, what happened to that Louisville team?
If I'm not mistaken, they got stripped.
And we're not talking about no polls either. We're not talking about
we ain't talking about the ones that they coach had up in the dorm room.
Yeah, we're right. That well done by you. Well, see, cooking early this morning, y'all, and I am loving the seasoning. So, did they run us our chip behind playing an ineligible team?
No, because the hatred is real.
The hatred is real. 4 years later, the basketball gods frowned on us after we stomped a mud hole into Sister Jean and her team. You knew karma was gonna come get us after that.
R.I.P. to Sister Jean.
R.I.P. to Sister Jean. So, Tasha, that brings us to today's matchup and this year's team. Tasha, I laid that backdrop because I'm scared to believe we've been so close. We have been so close. Over the course of our friendship, Tasha, we've been so close. Could this be the year? Will this be the year we finally get it done?
You know, every time I fill out a bracket, I always put Michigan as the champion. Whether they deserve it or not, they go there because that's just what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
It's just hard for me to keep hope, not because I don't think we're a good team.
Right.
Hope that we sustain this.
Right.
Because, you know, you can be a number, hell, I don't know how many seeds it is. There's 89 teams in the tournament now. At least that's what they're trying to do, put extra teams in. You can be a 15 seed and make it. We just look so damn good. It's just, can we sustain what we doing now. Like, we don't have to be the number 1 overall seed. We don't even have to be number 1. As long as we win, I don't give a damn what seed we are.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Let's take that seed and call it a mustard seed. Because I got a mustard seed of faith right now. It could grow after tonight's game. But Tasha, to your point, watching the Purdue game after Yaxel's viral video and Purdue was all up in arms, telling the crowd to wear black because it's going to be a funeral. Tasha, that was a professional business like ass whooping.
Yeah.
Up in Purdue. To where Matt Painter, who is a Hall of Fame coach, said, them Negroes ain't losing 4 games. I told my team the Big Ten title race is over. Tasha, that felt good. That felt good, Tasha.
But it's just the fact that you see, we were both watching the Arizona and Texas Tech game. Like, we were on the phone going back and forth during that game. Anything can happen.
Yeah. Oh, that's see, Tasha, why? Why would you do that 10 minutes into this show? Why would you do that? Because that's a perfect illustration on why I have such trepidation. There's so many variables in a one-and-done format where you got to win 6 games in a row. That game, to which Tasha didn't do this to me, and I applaud her for that. But y'all, my blind ass kept telling her the game was over. And she was looking like, no, baby, no. There's some time left on the clock. Where's your glasses, Ray?
He forgot his glasses. He lost his glasses. I just got him new glasses the other week.
She was so patient with that, too, because we were talking about something serious as we were watching the game in the backdrop. And she was like, no, Paul, the game is going to overtime. I'm like, huh? What? Wait a minute, the game is over. No, baby, there's 2 more minutes left with your blind ass. All right, so what are you expecting today? Neutral site game, Washington, D.C. Both teams travel well. Duke, Michigan, they both travel well, especially in basketball.
This will be a test for us because, Duke is always going to be Duke as much as I hate them.
Right.
Like, like Jimmy King said, bitches.
Let's run that. Now, for those who have not seen the 30 for 30 on the Fab 5, make sure you go and watch that, preferably before today's game, because it'll give you a backdrop on the history of Duke and Michigan. What were the Fab 5 saying about Duke?
They was just like, they was calling them Uncle Toms, the black players. They was calling the black players Uncle Toms. And Jalen Rose if you listen, I just think Grant Hill was a little too sensitive.
Yeah, he was.
Jalen was really giving him and his family a compliment.
He really was.
How he was saying he was jealous because Grant Hill came from a 2-parent family, daddy in the NFL, mother highly educated.
Right, was kicking it with the Clintons.
Right, and then here he comes, daddy in the NBA, professional athlete who he didn't know anything about. Mother struggling. They living on the southwest side of Detroit. You have to think at that time they were considered like low caliber, low vibration compared to Duke. So we all been teenagers, 18, 19, and done said some shit. I say some shit now, and I'm well into my 50s, and I'm still gonna say it. They said what they were thinking at that time.
Right.
And then Grant Hill, who he did have the right to come out and say he didn't appreciate what was said. But Grant, come on, dude, that shit was in the 90s.
He took it out of context, and to your point, Jalen Rose was giving him a compliment. He said Duke didn't recruit players like us.
Mm-hmm. The only one who they said actually had a shot was Chris Webber.
And what did Chris Webber go to school in Detroit? It was the private sector.
He went to Country Day.
Yeah, he went to a private school.
And he came from a 2-parent home.
He fit the criteria of a Grant Hill as far as the family structure and things of that nature. But the rest of those cats, no. I am really looking forward to this game now. The Goon Squad has checked in early. We're going to get to all of you, but I want to get to Mike's. He says the only thing that scares me with this team is turnover and half-court plays. Catch the ball and run the play. Cadeau, you on my list tonight, because the only thing that will stop Michigan is ball security. And Elliot Cadeau, he's been a great player for let me say good player. I'm gonna save the great stuff because you don't achieve greatness until you get into March Madness. He's been a good player, but the turnovers, Tasha, and not just the turnovers, throw him in the stands. You're doing live ball turnovers, and the games still haven't been that close.
I'm
So
gonna need to go to Cadont.
right, don't turn it over, Mike. I'm stealing that one. Don't turn it over, Tasha. This team really doesn't have any weaknesses.
No.
They can get done in the paint. They can hit the three. They're the number one defensive team in the country, Tasha.
Coaching.
Dusty May.
I mean, we coaches get a lot of the shrapnel when things fall apart, but the way he's able to pull this team together, right, especially during this era, like we all discussed, during this NIL era, people wanting to leave because they're not playing, they're not starting. I mean, it goes true for the basketball team too. Those who stay will be champions, and that's what I'm hoping. Like you gotta stay to try to build something. You can't keep team hopping, trying to think that your school is going to win a national championship.
And on the flip side, Duke has a player who's not staying. His name is Cam Boozer. His father was in the NBA. This kid is leading Duke in points, rebounds, steals, and assists.
And he don't even need to leave for the money.
He don't. Right. Look, hell, when I say he got his own money.
He got his own money.
Tasha, give me a prediction today. What would you like to see today? Because
I want it to be. I mean, I want some points to be scored because we all know defense in football sometimes makes the game a little bit longer. Defense in basketball is even worse.
You're right. Fouling and hacking and free throws.
And stopping the clock and making the 2 minutes be 15 minutes. Like, I really don't care to see that. I want an evenly balanced game defensively and offensively, of course, with us coming out on the top.
Right. And we will, y'all. Get y'all bets ready. Good morning, AP Culture. Speaking of AP Culture, real quick story. When we beat Jamal Mashburn and the Kentucky Wildcats in the semifinals of 92, my mom, as great as she is, my brother Damian Culture is a huge North Carolina Tar Heels fan. So when that national championship game approached, my mom made us the biggest rib dinner. Like, we had all of our favorite foods, and she made a big deal out of it. And I hate my brother because
Eric Montrose and what was his name?
Lynch and all of them.
Yeah, George Lynch. Yeah,
Dusty asses. But that was a magical night in the Culture household. We just didn't come out on the right side of it, but we're gonna get our get back. Good morning, Luca the Great. Luca the Great. Okay, all right. Good morning, baby cakes in the house. Good morning, Maria. I'm sorry, Melanie Taylor. I was going to call you Maria Taylor because I'm in basketball mode. Good morning, Mr. Hasso checking in. Good morning, Mr. Sawyers. Okay, Goon Squad in the house. Tasha, you got a question? Just curious. Why did y'all become big Michigan fans? Tasha, I'll let you take that one.
I mean, well, Melanie knows. Well, I don't know if she does know. Like, my grandmother's family, some of them lived, still kind of do live in Michigan. And so that's kind of where it came from with me. And even though my cousin went to Oklahoma, which is probably the team I should have been rooting for my whole life because of his connection, it was just kind of something that just happened. It was just kind of a natural thing.
It was a natural thing with me as well. December 18th, 1991 is when I became a diehard Michigan fan. Going back to this game, it was the game at Chrysler Center where we first got to look at the Fab Five as starters together against Duke, that number one Duke team. And we took them into overtime, and Chris Webber and Jalen Rose is in the face of Grant Hill and oh my God, Christian Laettner, Bobby Hurley. Jalen Rose was giving Bobby Hurley that work at the
work. And Bobby Hurley was not to be played with.
Not to be played with. Now, Bobby got his lick back in the national championship game. But just seeing five freshmen that were hip-hop in the hip-hop era, because that's where we were, the golden age of hip-hop when it really exploded, it was just something magical about that team. And then I took that love to the football field because Desmond Howard came back and won a Heisman.
I mean, like, I think mine was initially the football side of things.
Mm-hmm. I think Mike was too.
I didn't, like I said, this was in the mid 80s. Like, that's when I kind of, and then basketball came when Jim Fisher took over. That's when I kind of started saying, oh, the basketball team is good too. And then one of my very good friends, Stacy, she hooped at Michigan. So I kind of.
Nice. So you got 6 degrees of Michigan separation there. Right. And and ladies and gentlemen, me, Mike, and Tasha, this is not a Michigan gimmicky podcast. It was just organic. Mike just happened to be a Michigan fan. Tasha just happened to be a Michigan fan, and that's kind of the bond that ties us. But when it comes to the pro teams, we all fist fight. All of our pro teams hate each other. So, like, that's the day that bonds us.
We're the NFC side because we don't really deal with your AFC.
That's the problem. Because the Tennessee Titans pose you no threat. You can root for us. We got a black quarterback. We A, B.
I got to find me another AFC team because you know.
We're right here.
Coach Keeper job is gone. I got to find me another AFC team to root for.
Can the new coach can we go to QB keeper job then for Cam Ward? That he has a great. No? Okay, all right. Good morning, Jarrell. The Fab Five made all young black kids Wolverines fans like the Hoyas in the 80s. Pin this. How do I pin this comment?
Because y'all know we all thought we went to Georgetown. You can go to any flea market anywhere and get a Georgetown t-shirt.
Right. The starter jacket, the Georgetown one was the one that would get you robbed.
The navy blue joint.
Yes.
And it was the shiny one.
Right, with the George. And then the town, and then the buttons up, like.
And then if you got that Hoya gray one with the blue letters on it, but that shiny blue one was it.
With the Converse.
No,
you didn't have Converse?
No, I didn't have Converse. I wore Nikes like they did.
Don't do that. Don't.
I did.
I thought they wore Converse. You didn't have to autocorrect me.
No, they wore Nikes just like Carolina.
They wore Nikes. You're right. I was thinking of the NBA commercial.
But then when Patrick Ewing, got drafted, he signed his deal with Adidas, and then I had some of those Patrick Ewing Adidas.
And you could still jump higher than Patrick Ewing could at that time. Hey, he was a great player. Oh, all right. So y'all make sure y'all check that game out. It's really going to be a Final Four preview because the salad before the entree is Arizona, Houston. Oh, college basketball today. What a doubleheader. And Tasha, it's early enough in the day where you ain't got to watch no game at midnight over there. So
I know.
I'm really happy about that. Yeah, those starter jackets were fire. I had Oklahoma in high school. Which one did you have, Tasha?
I had a New York Mets because I'm a Mets fan.
I was just saying it was the Mets because I remember you took it off when you beat that girl up on the second floor. It was just laying on the floor. You did. You beat her. You was fighting her. All I heard was bitch, and I seen some hair flying. I didn't know what else was going on. I didn't know.
Just won't let that go, will you?
You won? Now, if you lost and I kept bringing it up, that's one thing, but I'm bringing up your victories. You beat her ass. All right, good job by you. All right. Now speaking of ass beating, we have a developing story for you college basketball fans coming out of Kansas. And it's projected number 1 overall pick, Darryn Peterson. He is a phenomenal player, but he's missed 11 games this year, and not 11 games because of a hamstring pull or a broken bone or thumb surgery or foot surgery or calf strain or Achilles tear. None of that. Tasha, he's been checking himself out of games mid-game. He's been checking himself out of games in pregame warmups to the point to where Hall of Fame to be coach Bill Self is starting to change the narrative about not like backing him. Like I thought that he was going to play tonight. He had 23 points in 21 minutes and then hit a 3 to start the second half and told his coach, "I'm out of here, bro. I'm out of here." Tasha, is it time now with the NCAA tournament a few weeks away? Is it time now for Kansas fans to be worried about their championship hopes?
Now, our good friend right there, Jarrell, who had chimed in, he did a small little reel.
It was a big reel, Jarrell. It was a big reel.
Yeah, I mean a big reel, but you know what I mean.
Right.
Jarrell, put your TikTok in there so people can go back and watch that.
Put your TikTok in there and put your IG as well.
About that, and I was like, Jarrell's thing was like, is he, hurting his career draft stock, whatever. And I don't really think a lot of these GMs care nowadays. They want to push character off, off the field, off the court character. But at the end of the day, these teams are thirsty. They wouldn't be tanking if they weren't.
And we're going to get into that.
And so, and it goes back to what Mike and I had said years ago, the NIL and the threat of losing out on a big check, which Kansas has obviously paid him a big check.
Yes. You don't get a Darryn Peterson without the money.
Getting injured and not being able to make it to the next level, and I just saw this post from Jeffrey Simmons. Jeffrey Simmons is probably the only one who had a horrific ACL tear while he was training and still got drafted. And you see he's turned out to be this phenomenal player. I kind of get they don't want to be injured, but that again goes to the NBA, how y'all let them do this one and done rule. If you make sure that they have to play more than 1 year, then maybe you would get a little more effort. Like back in the day, you had to give maximum effort.
Right. The Fab Five didn't have nowhere to go after that.
Right. Nowhere to go. So, I mean, the NCAA is the root of this, because had y'all still been letting people give certain players a little extra cash in their hand here and there, we wouldn't have a problem, because now they're talking about, oh, the fairness. Well, what if the football team makes more than the swim? It's never going to be fair, because football and basketball are your money-making sports.
Right.
So they should have just let the boosters keep paying who they wanted to pay.
Right.
I.e. a Trans Am.
Right.
And we wouldn't have this issue, but they want to police everything. And now the NCAA is like, oh, we ain't got shit to do with that. That ain't on us, bro.
Right. And now they're kind of like putting it on these circuit courts. Right. I want to let you finish your statement before we jump back into that, because the NCAA is very culpable in this. He said he had a Longhorn starter jacket till someone stole it. Those starter jackets was getting people jumped and and killed and stuff back in the day. Good morning, Jody. What's good, my people? What's going on, Jody? I think they have a Duke fan on their show, so I'm going to be checking into Against the Grain when they come on this morning. I might have to jump in the comments and do some trolling. I can't remember if Mike is a Carolina fan or a Duke fan, but somebody's on that show's a Duke fan, and they're going to catch these hands today.
No, Mike's like Miami.
Football, there was a Duke fan on there early last week. Good morning, Farrah Fawcett in the house. Why are you at work? Crazy right now. Hey, because baby needs shoes, wife need clothes. You gotta have lights. Somebody got to cut that grass in that yard you got out there. You got all that new patio furniture. Who paying for that?
That Blackstone that you made them smash burgers.
You're making smash burgers.
And your liquor collection that's rivaling any liquor store.
Right, and you got a IMAX theater in your attic. Get your ass to work. Who's supposed to pay for that? Me?
With them comfortable seats that feel like they pulling your jewelry off when you lay down, almost like the ones at the fair.
We're gonna use the word luxurious. All right, the shit is luxurious, so that shit ain't free. Get to work. We love you, fair. Next up, we're gonna have 8th graders load managing. That's the word right there I'm looking for. Is this Kawhi 2.0?
I mean, Jarrell, you see they offering kids scholarships in the 8th grade now.
There are.
So
don't
I can see that.
Don't be 6'5". You're gonna get your bag.
I mean, I think he's doing, whoever's in his camp and him are telling him, hey, pull up.
This is a camp issue. This is somebody in his camp managing his minutes, keeping his volume low. You said earlier that you put Michigan in your championship bracket every year. I do too, because I don't want to jinx myself that we win it all and somebody got a screenshot of my bracket picking Kansas to win it all. So I'm going to put Michigan in there. But if you're filling out your bracket, are you going to knock Kansas out a few rounds early because you don't trust Peters?
Yeah.
I am too.
I mean, luckily they've been able to still win. And
They have. You're right.
I mean, so I guess he's like, well, shit, my work is done. But no, bro, that ain't it. And I think also some of these colleges, I don't know how this would affect it either, make them a little more responsible for that second semester when it comes to being eligible. Because, really the only thing they got to do is compete. I mean, is be eligible the first semester and half after midterms. Who cares?
Who cares? Once that tournament starts, what you going to class for? Because you're about to start getting prepared for the NBA draft, because that lottery is just maybe a couple of weeks after the conclusion of March Madness. The load management, Tasha, is this a one-off? We haven't seen anything like this at the collegiate ranks ever with a top.
I mean, but what's disturbing is like how we were talking about Carlos Boozer's son, who doesn't have anything to lose. If he gets injured, he comes from money, but he's out there playing his heart out.
He is leading the team in several categories, a team that's nationally championship caliber stacked. But my pushback to Peterson and the load managing is Darius Acuff, who's also going to be a top pick. As a Memphis Grizzlies fan, I'm keeping my eye on him. He plays for Arkansas and Coach Cal. He was in a walking boot on what?
And Sunday? And dropped 49 2 days later.
Double overtime. Let me give you half a zone real quick. Let me put damn near 50 on your head. When you see that, you can't juxtapose that against a kid hitting a three to start the second half and then turning around and telling his coach, "Don't let me out."
I mean, and it I caught that. But it goes down to the coaching too. It's almost like, does Bill Self not have the same respect as Coach Cal?
You would think so. They're both Hall of Fame caliber coaches, but Coach Cal looked like he might throw hands.
Yeah, he looked like he may choke shit out of you.
Like,
if you don't get your ass, get your ass.
Cal and Bill Self too. So I'm not saying that Bill Self can't do this, but Coach Cal can start reading off the names of the players in the NBA that came through his program.
Bill Self looks more like the type that'll call you in his office and say something. Coach Cal look like he'll spree-well your ass like spree-well.
Right. Like Carlissimo never recovered from that.
He looked like he'll choke shit out of you on the sideline over there.
Coach Cal was the one that was saying these 30-year-olds got to go. He ain't protecting nobody. He was one of the biggest advocates for the 18-year-olds and the recruiting class because he's always been a phenomenal recruiter. So we shall see how that works. Huge basketball slate today. Now let's move over to the pro ranks, Tasha. The NBA has resumed play following their week-long All-Star break. Congratulations to Anthony Ant-Man Edwards, your 2026 All-Star Game MVP. Tasha, let's start here. Did the All-Star Game redeem itself with its product last Sunday?
Oh, hell yeah. Like, for the first time, I actually sat there and watched the entire All-Star Game without flipping the channel or saying, oh, let me, because it's been so boring. Now, All-Star Weekend itself is still very lackluster.
Yes.
And I mean, I remember when Kevin Durant was a rookie and they had that game of horse and his prize was a toy horse. Like,
I know his burner account was popping that night.
I mean, we can always go back and forth and vacillate about the dunk, which used to be the top draw not being good, but y'all got to get over that. It is what it is.
Yeah.
No one is going to participate in that slam dunk contest.
Yeah.
3-pointer should be the marquee event now.
Yes.
But it's becoming too gimmicky. And a lot of times gimmicks, they don't always go over.
Right. If you always got to have a toy in the bed, y'all might need some better chemistry. You can't do that every night. That can't be your go-to. You can't call up a third party. I'm just saying to her point. To her point, I'm just saying you can't like chocolate icing. That's not an every night occasion. That can't be. So but
the All-Star Game itself redeemed the entire weekend. Like I said, I'm understand about, and I even sent you guys, I said, yeah, it was good up until the fourth quarter, because I was saying how I hope Kawhi could keep it going.
Right.
But as everybody was saying, you got them old cats out there playing 3 straight quarters, and it's not really a regulated NBA game because even the best of the best gets tired in the fourth quarter, especially at a certain age. Right. You don't have the legs anymore, and it was obvious. But those first 3 quarters what they call him, Victor Wembanyama, the Condor, the pterodactyl.
Yes, he was.
He was heated, and then I don't blame him because who you have sitting on the bench the whole time he out there and the rest of the world was out there hooping. Who's sitting on the bench?
Let's park right here for a second. I didn't know you was gonna bring this up, but good morning, Shamika Nicole. Let's get that out the way. Good morning. Let us know in the chat what you thought about the All-Star game. But going back to your point, Kevin Durant, the Thursday before the All-Star game, he sat at the podium and they were asking him about the competitive nature. And he fired back and said, why are you asking us? Why don't you ask the world team? Luka and Jokic be out there laying on the ground, shooting 3-quarter shots, jogging, playing, laughing. What did they do in this All-Star game, Tasha?
Sat on the bench.
Could there be some connective tissue? And let's just have an honest conversation. He was basically intimating that the influx of the European game and the style of play has had a resounding effect. And while you're pointing at LeBron and KD and those likes, nobody said anything about Jokic and Luka not playing hard. And they basically checked themselves out of the game. LeBron did that last year and was eviscerated.
Mm-hmm.
Not a peep about that this year. Your thoughts?
But it goes back to the style of play in Europe. It is more relaxed, and I guess once these NBA players started getting older, I blame some of them. They said we're gonna adapt this because I'm trying to have longevity in this. I'm not trying to go to the hole anymore. I'm not trying to go hard in the paint. Right. I'm not trying to do this. I'm going to assimilate my game to the way the Euros play it.
Right.
So it's fault to be had all the way around. But if you're going to be pointing a finger, you're going to have, Katie was right, you're going to have to point the finger at everybody because Wemby was not having it. Wemby was out there balling.
He was not. And Anthony Edwards, he said after the game that Wemby's intensity spilled over into everybody else. We were seeing block shots. We were seeing pick and rolls, Tasha, in the All-Star game.
With jewelry on. I remember when they went to the commercial, when they were interviewing him, I said, I know this man ain't out here with no jewelry on in his ears.
Right.
Like, you can easily pull an earring out. I don't think any of them really came to play until they saw Wemby and the world team in the beginning, like really just going out there. And even up until the defeat, you could see it in Wemby's face that he was a little pissed off.
There was the game-winning play for Team USA in that opening matchup. Wemby was furious that someone left the three open when the three was the only thing that could have beaten them at the time. You didn't see that kind of competitive nature. I can't even remember dating back how far. There was hedging, there was helping, there were block shots, there were steals. Kawhi Leonard in the second and third game.
Kawhi was lights out. And that's all I was saying. I was like, the claw.
The claw.
Like when he missed that shot and they got the rebound, he came back and stole it. I was like, yeah. But I said Kawhi is also trying to prove something. Number one, he's playing in front of his home crowd.
Good point.
And also the fact that people say he's washed sometimes. I don't. You know, KD.
I've done it. I have done that, and he showed me Sunday. There's some more gas left in the tank. We can get to San Jose. KD
and Kawhi are my two favorite players. If you guys don't know that.
Now, Gerard said, "Who said French man was weak?" Every time I see the French, I think of Tommy when he had the white girlfriend at the lodge. She's not white. She's French. Tommy.
Well, I do know. A lot of them don't believe in using no day.
Oh, we're gonna move on in a hurry. We're gonna move on because I have to wait to see where you were going with that. Well, we're gonna move on.
I mean, I have a viable source who said, yeah, some of them don't smell the best, and I said, well, they use a lot of eau de toilette. They don't use a lot of.
Well, I don't know about Wale. I don't know
deodorant.
Wash your ass. All right. We're going to just leave that there. Tasha, you were talking about the dunk contest, and I agree with you 1,000% on, look, this is a game of physics. There's only so many dunks that the human body can do. Stop bitching about the damn slam dunk contest. Like, Jordan emptied the clip, okay? Vince Carter emptied the clip.
Dominique Wilkins
emptied the clip. Like, and the most recent was Aaron Gordon and Zach LaVine. They emptied the clip. Like, what you want them to do? Jump over a ring of fire?
It ain't nothing else to do because how many times you gonna see somebody dunk over somebody?
Right.
And I think it was Shannon Sharp that was like, when you had somebody like Muggsy Bogues, who won it because he was so short. Right. And he was like, he says maybe it just doesn't look as good when you got people that are 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", doing the dunks, except for because Aaron Gordon is tall as hell. What is he, 6'10"?
He was robbed too. But Zach LaVine was robbed.
He was robbed, especially when he did the one when he was like in a pike and
Yes, and did the up under
and went over from the pike position. Yeah,
that was probably that one's right behind Magic. I'm sorry, MJ versus Dominique in '88.
And Dominique got robbed simply because they were in Chicago. We all know this.
Dominique was rocking that motherfucking rim. So, y'all, it is what it is. Like what else? What do you want? What do you want from them? Now, back to that, NBC has already started the conversations with the NBA as far as adding a 1-versus-1 or 2-versus-2 to All-Star Weekend. Are you on board with that? Kind of like Unravel does with the women's game.
I mean, I would like that better than that skills champion.
I would too.
Skills thing. To be honest, I would. force somebody to play.
Yeah. I would love to see SGA and Ant-Man do a one-on-one to 11, or Ja and someone of equal ilk, maybe Kyrie, or maybe a LeBron and KD on their way out type deal, a little one-on-one, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know. Ego, we shall see how that works. My thing is, if you're going to compete, just go back to East versus West.
And that's the thing. If you do, I think if you do the East versus West, they're not going
to compete. So you do agree with Ant-Man that the fact that he got tired of hearing about the world being more dominant than the USA as far as development of basketball, that lit a fire under him and under the team. So you say keep that format.
Yeah, keep that format. But I really, because I initially said I got the world because who knew that Luka and Jokic wasn't going to play. Right. Had they played, I think it could have been probably would have been a different outcome.
Right. And Luka had 38 and 11 last night. Wasn't nothing wrong with him. He's just like, I ain't playing in this shit. Wasn't nothing wrong with him.
He's like, y'all know I'm lazy.
Right. And it didn't mean anything to him. Did you have a problem with Dame Dollar winning the 3-point contest and he ain't played in 2 years?
No. Who else was?
Right.
I mean, he beat the somebody who has been playing. So, you know.
All right.
Let somebody from the G League come in and win the dunk contest the past few years.
I'm glad they kept him out of it too. Because no, you ain't in the NBA.
If nobody else want to do it.
Do you agree with this? If we're going to win gold in 2028, Ant-Man going to have to lead us.
He's going to have to, but Jarrell, he's very immature. Like, I know Paul was like, does the NBA have a face? They want it to be Ant-Man, but he don't know how to act.
Let's go right here, because I wanted to get your thoughts on the NBA conversation that we missed from you last week when you were on location. Tasha, speaking of the face of the NBA, because this is my next question I have for you. Does the NBA need a face?
I don't think they necessarily need a face because the game is selling itself.
Mm-hmm.
And it's strange how a lot of these professional, NFL, Major League Baseball, everybody wants to grow the game globally.
Mm-hmm.
But the NBA seems to be the only the only sport that doesn't want to give that title to a foreigner, because it's obviously Jokic. If we're going to go there, Major League Baseball doesn't have a problem pitching Shohei. My interpreter stole my money and placed them bets Ohtani out as the face of Major League Baseball.
But they do push Aaron Judge a lot.
Maybe it's because of the market. He's in the biggest market.
In the team.
I mean, both of them are in the two biggest markets.
Right.
And the NFL. And the NFL is a little bit different because you can be a smaller market team like the Kansas City Chiefs and have the face of the league be Patrick Mahomes because of the way he plays. Good stuff. But the NBA has always thrived and pushed the face of the league. And for the past 5 years or so, there hasn't been a face of the league. But the NBA somehow has been surviving without having one.
Last week, we had the conversation with the crew from Our Take, and I had said that LeBron James is still the face of the league, and that's not a good thing. I think that the NBA, I think he's still the de facto face of the league because he's the most recognizable name and brand, but you can't have a 41-year-old face of the league. That's just not good.
That's what I'm saying, because he's everybody's, favorite player,
Right.
At this time. So of course everyone is going to gravitate towards LeBron, but as far as on the court play, he's not
even close. Not even close.
And that's not taking any shots at him because he's 41 years old and he's still out there. Every now and then he will give you a spark of LeBron James.
But just like any 41-year-old that has ever played in any sport, they're going to be in small pockets to where you just appreciate them more. But he should not be the face of the league. The diminishing returns on his game does not warrant face of the league, but nobody wants to take it from him. I think personally it's because they see all of the smoke he gets and nobody wants to sign up for that.
I don't even think it's necessarily that the smoke he gets. I just don't think the NBA is pushing any certain person. They tried to do Jot, but then he went, then he went all Yosemite Sam on us.
Right.
They would love for it to be Ant, but Ant got so many other issues. And to be honest, he don't know how to act. Like, let's just
he's still on his 11th grade. I just got my license. I just now started having relationships type vibe.
Right. They don't like Jason Tatum for whatever reason.
They can't stand him.
And Jalen Brown is too
brown
to be the face of the league. They don't want him out there because he's militant.
He about to sue the Beverly Hills Police Department.
As he should.
Right. He can't be the face of the league.
You can't be the face of the league like that. I mean, you got somebody like Cade Cunningham, but the Pistons ain't that good. I mean, they good, but they don't
resonate.
Yeah, they don't. That doesn't resonate. So you really don't have a face of the league.
Go ahead. What's your thought?
Because they don't want to let the face of the NBA be a foreign-born player.
They wanted to be an American-born player, and I think it was intentional to make sure that Anthony Edwards or Kawhi Leonard was the MVP. I think that was the best case scenario for Adam Silver because he desperately wants an American face of the franchise. And if he could be white, 10 times better for the NBA. That's just the reality because Larry Legend saved the NBA. That's just now. Wait a minute. Cooper Flag, the new Larry Bird, will be the face in 2 years. I agree with that.
I mean, look.
I agree with that.
Then we had this discussion, and I was like, y'all ain't gonna keep playing in Larry Joe's face.
Yeah.
But
damn, and he did say Larry Bird right when we had the discussion 2 days ago.
But Cooper Flag playing on that type of Dallas team is not gonna happen. Dallas has got to start winning.
Dallas has got to start winning. No, you're right, but he's in the right market. He's American. He has the Duke pedigree, and I think that if they can get things rolling, and we're about to talk about tanking real quick, but you got to start winning, Cooper. You can't average 30 and be 15 and 60 like that. That's just not gonna move the needle. AP Culture, I miss the pride of your face and watch me school you excitement the players used to bring. Fab Five, baby. That Fab Five energy.
But nobody wants, because that also brought what? Fist fighting. It brought, hey, I'm not complaining.
Your Pistons been knucking since they was bucking for 40 years.
I'm not going to complain because as much as the NBA and the NFL and everybody else tries to get away from that type of shit, viewership goes up when them fights happen.
And viewership has gone up for the NBA this year, which brings me to this question, Tasha. What is your biggest gripe with the NBA product?
I just said it, that one and done, not developing the college players enough to get to the NBA to put on a good show. Okay. That to me, that has ruined the NBA.
My biggest gripe with the NBA, and I've stood on this hill and will probably die on this hill if it doesn't change, is the coverage. And I'm going to tie the coverage into my next question. Tasha, we talked about it last week, but I didn't get your thoughts on it. The Utah Jazz were fined $500,000 for conduct detrimental to the league because they were sitting healthy players late in games and blowing leads and losing. And so now this tanking narrative has taken over the conversation regarding the NBA. And I think that the coverage has a lot to do with that. Do you think tanking is a really bad issue, or do you even care?
I don't really care, because if the team is open ass, we ain't watching them no way.
Tasha, land your plane right there real quick, because you're circling right. You're circling the runway, because that's where I'm going with this. Tasha, I did a little research. Now, the main problem that Adam Silver and the media has with the NBA is that they're saying that there are 10 teams that are actively trying to lose games so they can increase their lottery chances, because this is a generational draft coming up. Everybody knows that draft is generational. If you can get in the top 8, you're going to have a franchise-changing type of player, as long as you pick the right fit. We get that. That becomes now a national story with the NBA. And going back to my coverage issue, because I looked at the NFL final standings for 2025. There were just as many teams in the NFL that had 5 wins or fewer. open ass, to your point. But we didn't care because you wasn't checking for the Titans. You wasn't checking for the Dolphins. You wasn't checking for the Jets. The narrative around the NFL was about the teams at the top.
But in the defense of the NFL, you can tell that the Raiders may or may not have been tanking. But
the Titans were definitely tanking. Go ahead.
But I was going to say, looking at the Titans, I didn't necessarily think that they were tanking, because you did have Cam Ward still out there trying to do what he needed to do. You did have Jeffrey Simmons out there talking about, no, we getting ready to do this thing.
All pro, first team all pro.
Yeah, you still had a lot of positivity coming from them. The Miami Dolphins, who probably should have tanked from game one.
Yeah.
You know, they even didn't look like they were trying to tank.
No.
But it goes back to even the days.
So it's the optics of the tanking.
It's the optics, because I don't know the age, the demographic, and people who have really been into sports. Remember the Houston Rockets, didn't they tank because Hakeem Olajuwon was coming out?
Sure did.
And then miraculously, when they said, oh, we're going to do the lottery to prevent tanking, who ended up as the very first ever lottery pick? Patrick Ewing.
Right. And so think about the connective tissue there. Patrick Ewing, New York. LeBron James, Cleveland. Derrick Rose, Chicago. Did anybody see a theme here? How they kind of get these players back in their home markets.
But Derrick Rose went to Denver.
Derrick Rose, he was drafted by the Bulls.
No, he wasn't.
Derrick Rose?
I thought he got drafted by the Denver.
That was Carmelo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Derrick Rose was Chicago born and bred and Chicago led.
Derrick Rose is not from Chicago. Derrick Rose is from Detroit, Michigan. Derrick! I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I was looking around like, what?
I was like, wait a minute. Sorry. It's the
Yes, you blocked up. You blocked up right now. No, that's fine. But Derrick Rose. Maybe it is the optics, because the Titans, no one was watching them, so nobody cared. But they were selling parts off of scraps last year at the trade deadline to ensure that the defense didn't improve. They didn't make any moves to get better at all at the trade deadline. They moved pieces, but nobody cared.
But to me, when you're tanking, it's risky.
It is risky.
Because and I had this discussion with my brother. He sent me this clip about Carlos Rogers. Carlos Rogers played at Tennessee State University. He was all OVC and even an All-American coming out of Tennessee State.
Yes.
And my brother was like, what happened to him? He was like, did he get drafted? Because my brother is like 10 years younger than me. And I was like, yeah. I said, I think he went like overall, like number 11 or something like that. And he kind of bounced around. I think he played 7 or 8 years in the league. You can have all the promise in the world when you're in college. But then when you get to the pros, everything can change. You can... Some people just rise to the top. Some are mid to subpar players. So you risk when you're tanking, you risk. I mean, look at Sam Bowie over Michael Jordan.
Right.
And
look at Zion and Ja.
Right. Look at Zion. But the thing is, New Orleans ain't never had no look. I don't even think that was a case of tanking right there. They was just ass, period. And they just went with what they thought was the surefire, and fat ass got down there and started sucking up
because he played 37 straight games this year. But that was
around your OnlyFans and strippers and
hey, he like his freaks now. But he was when he was at Duke busting out of his shoe in front of OB, the president. He looked like he was supposed to be the next coming of the next big thing. I still think that 1-2 Zion Ja fiasco set the face of the league conversation back 7 years, because that's how.
Look at what's his name, Greg Oden, when he came.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, he was a can't miss surefire. Adam Silver. If people don't remember, Cooper Flagg went to the Dallas Mavericks. The Dallas Mavericks were in the last play-in game. They weren't the lowest ranked team. They were trying to make the playoffs. Don't be surprised, and you heard it here on the Extra Point first, that these teams like Utah, Memphis, Washington, Sacramento, that are actively trying to lose games, they're not going to get that number one pick.
No, and it's all determined on how that ball bounces, in which people say,
they're going to bounce the ball, Tasha.
It's fixed. But you got some teams that just don't have a lineage or a history of winning, so you don't expect anything from them. Like, Sacramento had that one good time when they had Vlade Divac and when they had Chris Webber, when they cheated to let the Lakers win.
Right, because that wasn't a foul on Vlade in Game 6. That series was over.
So I just think some teams, you like how they were saying how was it Utah was sitting players? Utah, first of all. And then these kids coming out, do you really want to play in Utah? I mean, I know it's all about the money, but
hell no, you don't want to play in Utah. And here's another thing, Tasha, that NIL can fix the tanking issue in the NBA. Because if you're Darryn Peterson and you're already checking yourself out of games, you will know before you have to declare who got that ping pong ball. And if you don't want to go to Utah or Washington or Memphis, you might be like, well, Bill, I know me and you had a rocky patch last year. We can either run this thing back on my load management or I'm going to just hop in the portal. Make me a quick $5 million and go play for
Oklahoma. But I think it's the whole risk of injury thing that is, I mean, like I said, I get it. It's the risk of the injury that's making him and hopefully not others.
Right, hopefully not others. Right.
But, Sasha went to a game in Utah, a basketball game, and she was like, yeah, other than the team, it wasn't nothing there.
I know them WBs was all over her.
No. She actually found a group for, it was a black group of black people in Utah. And she went on TikTok and found this group.
Utah, let me just tell y'all this. If my niece has to go on TikTok to find a group of people to look like her, we got to do better. This is America, Jack. She ain't got to be going on social media to find no Negroes. What are you doing, Utah?
She said she has to find out where the black people were when she was in Utah.
Tasha, all you got to do is go to Sweet Georgia Browns when you hit I-30. And you're going to have everything you need with a little pot lick on your tonsils.
I can taste them beans. Now, shouts out to that brother who got me on those beans. So, this time in October, I'm getting them beans and that cornbread.
Look, they need a midnight so we can just go pick it up after the airport pickup and then just go ahead and have it for the next day. No, we're going to make that drive every single time. So, Tasha, let's just recap real quick for the people who came in late. Michigan versus Duke today. You've got Michigan. We're a 2.5-point favorite right now. Is that you don't care if we're number one. Do you care if we win or lose?
I mean, I do care if we win or lose. I don't care about no damn ranking. I just do care if we win or lose. Like I said, Cameron Boozer is
legit.
Yeah, he's legit. But they also have other pieces, and you gotta watch out for that. That 2.5 is mighty tight.
It's mighty tight. It's mighty tight. That's mighty tight. But to get Arizona versus Houston at 2, and then followed up by Michigan and Duke, that's Final Four Saturday.
Like I get them here. It'd be 3 and 7:30. So I'm good.
When I saw the time here locally, I thought about you, and I was like, Tasha is going to get to actually enjoy this game and not be making business decisions after halftime. So I was really excited about that. Your Twitter game might be popping tonight. I might have to keep that app open on the laptop because when Tasha's team is playing, her Facebook and Twitter go hard. I'm going to just tell you that right now. Listen to them damn 49ers. I love it. I love it. Tasha, who you shouting out today? I can't believe we finishing on time.
I got 2 shout outs. Again, we're gonna keep and Treese. I don't know if Treese is still in here. Give us an update on Herman. Yes, but please. I want to again continue to send our condolences to our good sister Tiffany Rowe. Yes. Who funeralized her father on her 51st birthday.
Oh,
and
wow.
A little bit of Black history fact. He is the first Black fire chief of Chattanooga ever. First Black fire chief. That's Mr. Wendell Rowe. But no, and I sent her on her birthday, I sent her a text that morning. And I said, yeah, I know it's kind of hard, to think about having fun on your birthday with what you having to do today. I said, but think about what Mr. Wendell would want you to do. And she said that's what they did. She said they was up having a good old time at 7 a.m. because her daddy would have liked it that way.
That is
because because that's Mr. Wendell. That's just him. So yeah, we're gonna keep her sister Terry,
Yes.
and she has a couple of step siblings that I don't know by name, but and Weezy and Terry's children, keep them all in our prayers. And also, friend of the show, family of the show, Mr. Jamie Winborn got inducted into the Vanderbilt Hall of Fame last night.
Nice, congratulations.
So, and his baby girl turned 18. I told him, I said, "You getting a little long in the tooth, bro."
That time sure does fly. Martrice is still here, and she says he's improving slowly, but still in the hospital. Appreciate all the prayers. Continue prayers for Tiffany. Now, see, you dealing with a real one when someone who's in the midst of waiting on their prayers to get answered are asking others to pray for others. That's the kind of shit that will lock me in for 40 years, Martrice Hastings. Praying for you and your family and still offering congratulations to others.
Oh, and one last shout out to my baby girl who's over there doing her thug thizzle.
She really is.
She is having the time of her life over there. She got to see.
Has she ever felt like that before?
Huh?
I said, has she ever felt like that before?
She don't want to come back.
Swear it's the truth.
She don't want to come back.
All you.
She sent me a text message. She says, "Mom, I got to see Layla win the gold medal," and that's Layla, who plays the first Black woman on the on a USA hockey team, who scored a goal, and she was right there watching it. And y'all, I mean, I don't know how a lot of y'all feel about this man, but I don't care. I'm still gonna rock with him. She got to meet Uncle Snoop, and
I've forgiven Snoop,
and had a full-on conversation with Uncle Snoop.
Let's cut to the chase. Did she smoke one with the dog?
Well, she got some swag from him. This is what.
Okay, we'll leave it a swag. This
is what he gave her. She got like a death row thing. She got a bottle of 19 Crime. She got his recipe for his edibles. Snoop Dogg's treats to eat. 55 bacon recipes. She got some Snoop Dogg official Snoop Dogg Olympic gloves. And she got a welcome to death row hat.
Nice. No.
So Snoop was traveling with all of this stuff, I guess, to give out. And she just so happened to get in contact. She, like I said, she just said, "Hey, how you doing? Whatever. And his people were there. And she got some swag from Uncle Snoop.
That is awesome. And the one thing he didn't give her is the most important thing, and that's an STD. Because I saw where the Olympics, they done ran out of condoms over there.
They ran out of condoms down there, y'all.
That's a lot of. It was David Allen Greer. He said, "No, they in there." Damn, y'all getting it in.
Your parents in my bathroom hitting it.
Hitting the joint in my bathroom.
No. But and she did get to go to the Four Seasons and experience a full on like massage and a day spa thing at the Four Seasons in Milan.
That is awesome. And bring your butt on home because y'all done ran out of condoms over there.
She about to turn up, because their days are cutting down. The closing ceremony is a Sunday, so she comes back. What's today's date? I think she's back on the 26th.
We need to welcome her back with a hero's welcome. Like, I'm surprised you ain't never got her on the show. She's always doing something sports related. Well, she works a lot on our show. Like, she's working right now. When I say she got her own money, we say she got her own money. Very proud of her.
Oh, not to mention in the swag that NBC hooked them up with, which is, y'all know I love some polo. Y'all know I love me a little horse right here. Not Ralph Polo Association. That ain't polo. I'm talking about the real polo.
Why are you trying to call out my polo?
NBC, you don't wear no Ralph Polo Association. NBC hooked them up with swag. They got like the official, like you see the polo jackets. They got hats, they got gloves, and then she has this whole collection. We may need to get her on for maybe 10 minutes or so. You know how they collect the Olympic pins? She's been out there bartering and trading like somebody in prison to get certain pins that she wants. So she has a lanyard full of Olympic pins.
Mama, yeah, they ran out of condoms over there, Mama. And me and Mike, when we were talking about it, I said, I hope Munisipu keep her ass in the house now. Don't let them touch on you. They ain't got no. And plus, we strapped with 2 protections.
I took the phone and hooked in the pause for a minute because I got well met the whole. Oh, sorry.
Martrice beat me to it. Her birthday is this week. Everybody have a shot for your girl. Now, the older I get, I got one shot for you. I don't know if I can empty the clip. I throw one back and I'm in the bar car lounge.
Yeah, I can't. Teresa, I love you, but I may have to take a shot of this here, some water or some cranberry juice.
I'm gonna take a shot of some actual liquor. I think I'm looking at 0, but it's gonna be right before bedtime, so I can just go ahead and knock that on out. Yes, beautiful baby, love it. Yes, we do love it. They did. Happy, get it, Niecy Pooh. She's really getting it right there, but don't get that. Just get the swag. Don't get that other stuff. You come on back home, Niecy Pooh. I've been having a great time following your TikTokers. All right. Happy birthday, Boss Martrice. Enjoy your day. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to give a shout out to my mama because I love her. Ain't no special. It's always a good day to love on your mom. I want to give a shout out to friend and family of the show, Michael Harris. I saw his live posted earlier this week that his lovely wife, Tracy, rang that bell. That's what we talking about. Y'all MFers are Teflon tough. All of y'all, BGMs, the Black Girl Magic. Yes, I love it. So congratulations to your family there. And wait, how y'all in y'all 50s? And Tasha, you answer that because that was.
Drink your water.
And she does. She does drink water. I was here for a whole week, and
I know Paul like, damn, she drank it. I ain't never bought this much water.
I had never bought that much water, and it was lukewarm. I ain't never seen nobody drink lukewarm water.
But it drink cold water.
But it works. It obviously works. Yes, Tracy. Yes. Ring that bell. So I'm gonna give a shout out to just everybody that's watching, and shout out to the University of Michigan because we finally finna beat Duke for the first time since 2008. And program announcement: this lady right here is rain, sleet, snow, hail, tornado, tsunami, all of that. So we're gonna give her a well-deserved week off next week for her to sleep in or plan some stuff for her son. Not son, I'm sorry, for her husband, her mom, whatever she wants to do. We're giving her the week off, and I'm going to check in with her midweek next week to see if she needs 2 weeks off because we'll be back for March Madness. But I really want to give her a week off because she was driving in the rain with her phone turned sideways. People on YouTube was concerned about her so she could make it for the show because she thought I didn't have anyone else to be there. And that right there is love. So we got to give her some time off. We got to give her some time off. She's deserved it. She's here every single Saturday giving y'all the hot takes, no matter what's going on in her life.
Even on vacation, I just log in.
Even, right. She drank her water, and the mind your business part, I haven't experienced that.
You know, Trees, we like to be messy sometimes.
I haven't experienced that. Yes, go blue. And Tasha, you sound like Mama Gladys. Now, that is the highest compliment ever.
Yes.
You're asking me.
Yes, Mama Gladys.
Right. Enjoy your time off, Tasha. And we're gonna close with this. She finally uses some PTO. Mike is so proud of you right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, it could be 2 weeks because she really deserves 2 weeks off so she can plan. She likes to travel, and she's always considering other people's feelings and what they got going on. We want to consider hers this week. So I'm going to make an executive decision right now. We're going to take a 2-week break from football and basketball. We'll be back. The brackets will be out, so we'll be giving you live updates of the round of 32 2 weeks from today. The Selection Sunday would just have concluded, and we'll be in March Madness play. So y'all make sure you follow Tasha on her socials because ain't no telling where she's going to be chiming in from over these next 2 weeks. I'm sure she's about to get on her app right now. Right. And we'll see y'all. All right. We love y'all. Peace.
Vamos azul.
Vamos azul.